second rotation is coming up out of Alabaster. Now, Jason, you talk about densely populated areas. I have not heard of any late news from this newest one from Alabaster. Have you?
No, I've heard of reports of hail. The wind has been picking up, but nothing that was on the ground. Although I'll say this, in this last couple of scans, the circulation that's passing just northeast of Chelsea is actually looking maybe a touch more impressive than the one that just came through Alabaster. I'll put both of them on the screen here at the same time and highlight them. There's the one that's northeast of Chelsea, very clear, gate-to-gate sheer. You have the green and the red right next to each other. It almost looks like a swirl of the two colors. The other circulation's down here a little closer to the radar, and it looks a touch more garbled, but I'm going to try to tilt up through one of the other velocity layers and look at that, and you can still see stronger circulation over here northeast of Chelsea than what we have that's closer to the Shelby County Airport, but there's definitely something to that, and it may be that we're so close to the radar that we can't see it. There seems to be a perfect distance from the radar to be able to see these things. You can't be too close, you can't be too far away. It's a little bit finicky when it comes to that because of the elevation where the beam is actually hitting the storm and seeing the rotation. We still see up through Tilt 2 a very intense rotation through the Chelsea area, but there is nothing that has been reported on the ground. Got some text messages and a few messages via Twitter and through instant message chat that there have been wall clouds, have been a few reports of funnel clouds, but nothing has been
like this one. Small change has been found on the ancient counters, evidence that they operated right up to the
because that is a very clear area of potential strong rotation. And then keep in mind the second rotation is coming up out of Alabaster. Now, Jason, you talk about densely populated areas. I have not heard of any late news from this newest one from Alabaster. Have you?
No, I've heard of reports of hail. The wind has been picking up, but nothing that was on the ground. Although I'll say this, in this last couple of scans, the circulation that's passing just northeast of Chelsea is actually looking maybe a touch more impressive than the one that just came through Alabaster. I'll put both of them on the screen here at the same time and highlight them. There's the one that's northeast of Chelsea, very clear, gate-to-gate sheer. You have the green and the red right next to each other. It almost looks like a swirl of the two colors. The other circulation's down here a little closer to the radar, and it looks a touch more garbled, but I'm going to try to tilt up through one of the other velocity layers and look at that, and you can still see stronger circulation over here northeast of Chelsea than what we have that's closer to the Shelby County Airport, but there's definitely something to that, and it may be that we're so close to the radar that we can't see it. There seems to be a perfect distance from the radar to be able to see these things. You can't be too close, you can't be too far away. It's a little bit finicky when it comes to that because of the elevation where the beam is actually hitting the storm and seeing the rotation. We still see up through Tilt 2 a very intense rotation through the Chelsea area, but there is nothing that has been reported on the ground. Got some text messages and a few messages via Twitter and through instant message chat that there have been wall clouds, have been a few reports of funnel clouds, but nothing has been on the ground from Alabaster to Chelsea so far. But just to be on the safe side, because we still have it, we have a marginally unstable atmosphere on this side of the state in eastern Shelby County and Talladega County. We want you to go ahead and go through that tornado safety plan right now. It's in a case like today when we've had these large tornadoes reported, we've had tremendous damage in West Alabama, especially around Geiger. We had that report earlier from our own Bill Castle of 2 churches that were obliterated by a large wedge tornado. Then there was a few mobile homes. A few homes have been destroyed across East Mississippi and Western Alabama. But so far in Shelby County, the news has been better. In Bibb County, we've seen some damage, but most of that has been confined to trees and power lines being knocked down in the fairly rural areas.
Getting some new reports, Jason, I'm sorry, from Chelsea, from the fire department, and Deborah, correct me, they had trees and power lines down, and you say there might have been damage to a fire station? Okay. And this is from the fire chief in Chelsea. So this would be from the circulation that has just come through there.
The one that just tightened up. Right.
That just, see this thing right here? That clearly could be a tornado right there. And again, more than likely, that's over and through here right now. But that just came through Chelsea. So that is reports that's the first reports of damage we've heard from Chelsea. So again, we now have some tree and power line damage reported in Chelsea. And again, that circulation is moving northeast the way it looks like it's loosening up a little bit. And these do not look like the classic supercell structures like we had back in Mississippi earlier today that produced some extremely violent tornadoes. But again, clearly we've got this next circulation right here coming up to the northeast, and again, that's going to be maybe staying just south of US 280.
It seems to be intensifying too.
Yeah,
I think we're going through cycles. Look at that.
Yeah, this thing looks very wound up.
That's just north of Highway 26, approaching County Road 47 between Chelsea and Columbiana.
Yes, and again, that 47 is the road that goes from Chelsea down to Columbiana, and we encourage nobody to be on that road right now. And again, that circulation will be coming right across Highway 47, and then ultimately it's going to be coming over here toward Highway 145, and then crossing the Coosa River. It looks like this circulation that's approaching Columbiana will stay farther south. This time, this will not affect Chelsea. This will affect mainly areas near or maybe just north of Columbiana. So clearly right now, the call to action is no travel along County 47 as this passes through, and there could clearly be a tornado there. So we have two distinct circulations in Shelby County, one that's moving away from Chelsea, one that's south of Chelsea that's going to be passing north of Columbiana. Within these big radar signatures, tornadoes are very small. Keep that in mind. And like we've talked about before, you know, sometimes it is very difficult to correlate a tornado position even with a good hook echo and velocity couplet. You might know within a mile or two, but getting it exactly down to the city block with radar data is hard. That's why the spotters are so critical, and that's why we built the Skywatcher team and the Skycam network. So we have a tornado warning for Shelby County for a rotation that will be approaching Columbiana, passing south of Chelsea, and another one that's located east of Chelsea moving away. It seems like this one north of Chelsea is beginning to dissipate somewhat. Now, we have a new tornado warning in effect for, or they're continuing a tornado warning for parts of Bibb, Hale, and Perry counties. Let's go back and look at that storm that is approaching Brent. This is a severe storm that came out of Hale County. And again, this is a TVS right here, and that's moving northeast. And this is Pondville. There's the hook echo down through here. And that's moving up in the general direction of Centerville and Brent. The tornado impact is at 5.3, moving northeast at 37 miles per hour. And again, this is out in the middle of nowhere. There's not a lot of folks that live out here, but that is a clear tornadic circulation. So this could be very close to Centerville and Brent. The first one passed north of you. This one could be close to you, maybe passing a bit south, but it's going to be awfully close. And again, like I've said many times, when you get into an outbreak like this, these long duration events, these things are almost like bullets flying in the dark. You know, sometimes they're awfully hard to judge and they're awfully hard to see. But with the technology we have today, we'll give you a pretty good idea of where they're going to be. So again, this is this tornadic circulation that's coming up towards Centerville and Brent. Got a report of traffic issues. And again, let me just stress, there's a flash flood warning for the southern part of the Birmingham Metro. It is a nightmare for people trying to get home this afternoon. We've got a report that I-65 northbound at Alford Avenue, water is 6 inches deep, causing travel problems coming off the top of Shades Mountain there. So that's an issue. Tornado warning remains in effect for Lamar County. Now, Lamar County is in the Columbus, Mississippi market, but we know a lot of people watch us there. Let's check that real quickly. Lamar County is this storm is near Millport, moving east at 35. This is about 50 miles northwest of Tuscaloosa, and it's this storm right here. This is the storm that has prompted the tornado warning. So again, it looks like the circulation is north of Millport. It's going to be north of Kennedy, and if this continues on this track, it will be crossing over into Fayette County, which is right here. So a possible tornado crossing Highway 17 between Millport and Vernon, and if that keeps on that track, that will be affecting Fayette County, maybe affecting the city of Fayette if it holds together. So just wanted to show you that. That is a tornado warning for Lamar County in northwest Alabama until 6 o'clock. So let's go back to Shelby County, and again, at least we're manageable here. We've got several areas of concern, and we can bounce back between all of these. We'll check our circulation that is coming up into the Columbiana area. And that looks good, doesn't it? I mean,
it really does. It's got a very good low-level signature in the reflectivity. It also has some velocity signature there. It's just not quite as strong as the one that passed northeast of Chelsea that apparently did a little damage to some trees and some power lines and a few buildings around the Chelsea area. It's, again, tough to see because we're so close to the radar. Sometimes when you're very close in, you can't see everything that you need to see, but there certainly does appear to be some rotation there. There's some shear within the storm, and I'm just tilting up through all the levels there. That's why all the colors seem to change a little bit. You're seeing various levels of the thunderstorm, but somewhere out here close to Highway 47 with within that noise, we probably have what would be a tornado. And I say noise, I mean these gray pixels right here where the radar doesn't exactly know which way the wind is blowing. It's having trouble discerning, so it just gives us those gray pixels, and that's just what we call noise on the radar. But there's a circulation somewhere just north of Columbiana, likely near 47 or maybe just a little east of there, and that's going to pass slightly northwest of downtown Wilsonville. But if I were in Wilsonville, Harpersville, Vincent, Childersburg, I'd be in my safe place right now. In Alabaster and Pelham, the severe weather threat has temporarily ended. There may be a few more storms later on this evening, but at least for now you can go about your business as normal. It's eastern Shelby County that we're concerned about now, as well as western Talladega County, Bibb County. This next tornado that's west of Centerville is likely going to cross over into Chilton or maybe extreme southern Shelby. So I would say from Alabaster northwest into Tuscaloosa County, you can take a breather for a little while. The problem is we have more storms that are out there to the west over parts of Pickens County into Macon County, Mississippi, Noxubee County, Mississippi. Noxubee County near Macon, Mississippi. Kemper County and Lauderdale County still have some warnings there. And additional storms are still forming out to the west of there. I'll put on the composite here. And the more significant storms seem to be drifting a little farther south, but there's still that threat that we could have additional severe weather, additional tornado kind of tornado-producing kind of storms over the northwest corner of the state. There is a tornado watch that's in effect. We still have a watch in effect until 9 o'clock for much of central Alabama. I would imagine that will probably be replaced with a new watch that goes on a little bit later than that. In fact, I think I just saw the new watch box pop in for central and east Alabama, as well as north Georgia. And I'll get the time on that. That is until 11 p.m. For Georgia and east Alabama. So our storms are going to continue rolling on for several more hours. We're not really out of the woods anytime soon yet, James.
Yep. All right, let's go to the MacBook Pro and look at some of the pictures coming from our viewers. These are photographs that you've sent to us through pictures at abc3340.com. And again, we obviously can't show all of them on the air, but we see all of them in real time, and it's extremely helpful for us as we go through this. And that's a great way of giving hail photographs. We love to have a coin. A lot of times people say marble-sized hail. Well, if you played marbles, you know there's not one size of a marble. There's a king marble and little bitty marbles, and a coin is often a better way of us determining that. You can see some video there, and again, this is probably from the Tuscaloosa area. We've had a lot of excellent video, storm damage video coming from Tuscaloosa, and we thank everybody for that. And again, if you're just joining us in terms of the damage, the good news, and by the way, that is an overturned car on Interstate 359 in Tuscaloosa. I don't know in that particular case if anybody was injured, but I have heard of no specific injuries in Tuscaloosa despite the damage. A tornado did touch down in Tuscaloosa earlier this afternoon. Did not affect the University of Alabama if you've got students there. And again, even in the areas where the damage was reported, we did not have any specific reports of injuries, and the damage is not like the December 16, 2000 tornado that killed 11 people there. And again, that's a pretty good looking shot there. We'll look and see where these came from a little later after the fact. But again, many excellent photographs coming in from you this afternoon from the sky. We are still in a situation where we have active tornado. Looks like that's the bridge crossing the Black Warrior River. But let's go back to the radar. Again, we'll go back and review some more of these photographs here in just a little bit. If you're just joining us, we have multiple tornado warnings. I'm James Spann with Jason Simpson. We apologize. We typically would have news and a lot of things going on at this point, but due to the nature of this tornado outbreak, we're going to stay with this. We have issues in Shelby County. We have issues in Bibb County. We have issues in Lamar County, and issues way down in Marengo County in southwest Alabama. Let's go to our Shelby County storm. We'll kind of start close in and go farther out. The Shelby County storm is one that has come through Alabaster, and again, that's a pretty good circulation right there. Coming right up toward Wilsonville. That's Highway 145. And I just say right now that if you are in Wilsonville, Childersburg, Harpersville, be in a safe place. This is a very dynamic-looking storm. The organization looks very good, and we have seen storms that look like that on radar today produce some pretty significant damage. So again, we have a tornado warning in effect for Shelby County. The greatest concern, the area near Wilsonville. This one clearly was farther south than the lead storm. The first one came up through Chelsea, knocked down some trees and power lines. And again, now we've got this circulation that is coming up through Wilsonville. So again, you can see that's the lead circulation right here that came through Chelsea.